Yes, it's a good evening, and every Friday, Face of the Nation is our show, streaming live on our social media handles. That's the Alternative Uganda Facebook page, Digitalk TV Facebook page, and our YouTube channel, The Alternative Uganda. Today is quite a very rare day, for lack of any other word anyway. You know, having OHT, Ssentamu Ssewandagi. He has those, in Uganda would say, Adi Wude Nyukuta. His name begins with two double S's, then Ssentamu, then Ssewandagi. Oh, the other one has a single S.
No. It is not that the name begins with a double S. The method we use in Uganda, when you are writing Uganda, having two letters at the beginning of a name shows supremacy. Because when you have, there are those ones, for example, when you have a big hill, it is called a sozi, a big hill is a sozi, okay? And then there is a person called the sozi. So we need to have a difference between the two. Okay? And then you can find there is a Nabagereka, who is Kabaka's official wife. And then there is another Nabagereka who belongs to the Obutiko clan. So there must be a difference between the two in the writings.
Okay.
So when you put a double S,
for emphasis, this is what it means. Stands for this.
And mostly those ones you see with the double S, double letters, and what have you, are the people who never went through kindergarten and what have you. For us, we are beginning from primary one. Double this side, and then they say you are ready.
To begin to primary P1.
The year you could be, if you make 6 years old, you either make 6 years old. That's when they say, okay, you are now able to go. You are now ready for primary, and then you begin primary one, and then they start
gauging whether you still qualify to keep there.
And then they had P1C, P1B, and P1A. So and then you are graduating from P1C to P1B to P1A, and then you proceed upwards. So we are not there to waste letters.
Quite interesting.
These letters also have a meaning in Uganda. All humans names in Uganda are written with the double letters. That is a law in Uganda writing. When I'm a linguistic. So I know Uganda and I write it very well. So when I use double letters, any Uganda name must begin with the two letters. Save for those ones who have studied from
years later,
kindergarten and what have you, and then we just accept that we abide by their the norm, because to them they start with
just one letter. Quite interesting. Uganda is a rich nation, if I should say, and like of course it was very interesting that he had to also chip in to justify why he is taking all the letters. So,
I thought that we were going to inquire. I thought that we were going to inquire as to why I do not have a Christian name.
No, of course, definitely. You say hello to our viewers, and then I ask you why just Ssentamu Ssewandagi. I don't hear the Joseph. I don't hear the Peter, Simon Peter. I don't hear the Geoffrey. You know those names. Say hello to our viewers, sir.
Hello, viewers. I'm privileged and humbled to be here with you, and especially to be hosted by my long-time friend, Norman Tumuhimbise. Has been a very long-time friend. He's part of the people, was part of us, who have been in the struggle for so long.
They're quite in trenches.
When you hear people speaking of the struggle, you think that they are talking about something which is different, but there's nothing different. The struggle to oust dictatorship in this country has been fought by so many people. And many of our colleagues have lost their lives. And we feel so privileged to be alive by today.
That's what we have. That's what we can celebrate about.
Many of our colleagues have gone to, and they have been buried, and they are nowhere to be seen. But today, I'm happy to be hosted by you, and dear viewers, I wish you a nice viewing and listening.
Maybe if I should add, if I should
maybe also, before that, to answer a question, that why don't I have
traditional names?
This happened in the 1990s. In 1991, I joined the Chankwanzi Leadership Institute, and I went there for a cadreship training. I spent there 9 months. After the 9 months, I had already been brainwashed not to believe in those English names. So I found out that having a colonial name was part of colonialism. Because when you look around, I've never found an Englishman or a European or a British or an American having an American name together with an African name. So I found no reason to have both. So I decided to do away with my Christian name. I had one because I was baptized. By the way, to be sincere, yesterday, which was the Thursday, was my birthday. I was born on 4th September, more than 50 years ago, in Mulago Hospital. And then I went and I was baptized in Jinja.
You dropped the Christian name?
Yes, I was baptized in Jinja Karoli. And even all the years of my study from primary 1 up to senior 6, I carried that name.
Okay.
But I dropped the name after the Chankwanzi cadetship course.
Were you? I think you were in quotes infected by Kajabagu Karusoke. You know that gentleman who was, I think, he would have affected. He didn't have that name, and he was too much with the Chankwanzi things.
He would have affected myself, but his hatred towards Buganda turned me away from his school of thought or theory. So I would not. I was pissed off.
I think it's
I could not even listen to him.
Yeah.
Because the way he hated Buganda, it is as if Buganda had taken away all of his wealth. They killed all of his siblings. They killed all his relatives. So I could not follow in his company.
That discussion reminds me of some philosopher out there in the States. Do you know you would find a black called Peter White? And then he's like,
and he's black.
And he's black.
And you wonder why.
And then like Brown. But he's black. Like
why
Simon Peter Brown.
Why would I call him
White? And then he's black. And then people would ask, but you're black. Why would you call yourself white?
I find no reason as to why I would call myself black when I'm black.
Yeah, in any case.
And by the way, it is so much insulting to call a black person black.
Because he's already, I mean, we identified by our skins. Anyhow, we are with Ssentamu Ssewandagi. He's a renowned...
I'm not Owekitiibwa. In Uganda, Owekitiibwa is a title reserved for only 3 persons. The Katikiro,
and the ministers of Uganda.
No, the Sabalamuzi. He would be the
Sabalamuzi of Buganda.
Of Buganda, the Sabalamuzi of Buganda.
Of the Chisekwa court?
No, not Chisekwa court. Buganda had an administrative system where they had a Sabalamuzi, the chief justice of Buganda.
As a kingdom, as an institution.
As an institution. And then the third person who had that one was Omwanika, the treasurer, the minister of finance for Buganda. Those are the 3 persons who are bestowed with that title.
Why do people now call you Owekitiibwa out there? Because everywhere maybe they translate it into loosely, like what you would respect someone and say Mukuru Gundi. Because if you go deeper, to Mukuru Gundi, we hear it is
that is just a misuse of words. Dear. They are just misusing these words. Because Owekitiibwa, when you translate it literally, it would mean someone with an honor. Someone with an honor. So Owekitiibwa, yes, Owekitiibwa, the Kitiibwa, he owns the Kitiibwa of Katikiro. So you cannot call him Owekitiibwa, Katikiro, Charles Peter Mayiga. No, you either call him Owekitiibwa or Katikiro, because the Kitiibwa is Katikiro.
Okay.
Then the treasurer, you do not call him Owekitiibwa Omwanika, because the Kitiibwa, the Kitiibwa is the title, which is Omwanika. Okay. So people are just misusing word for lack of knowledge. They're just misusing words for lack of knowledge. So but others know, and they deliberately choose to mislead others.
So we are a correction from Mr. Now that one you want to refuse it. You're Mr. Mr. Ssewandagi. Now, politics. You join, because we have limited time, want to summarize some bit of your political journey?
Yes, please.
And why a person who had been, I don't want to use, you see there's a big difference between indoctrination and indoctrination. When you were in Chankwanzi, were you indoctrinated or you were doctrinated? No,
by then Chankwanzi was still a leadership institute.
What do you mean? People consider it to still be a leadership institute?
No, it is not. These days, Chankwanzi is an indoctrination center of NRM.
Not doctrination.
People are sent there. People go there just to be indoctrinated. They are only being taught to pay allegiance to only one person. The Trinity of Museveni. That is the person I always talk about.
Mention the Trinity. Because
the Trinity of Museveni is Museveni himself. Then there is Museveni, NRM 7 and Musevenism.
So the 3 in 1.
When you meet a police officer on the streets of Kampala, you have not done anything wrong to him. He will wake up, he will get a baton and then start beating you there and then. What makes him beat you there and then is what we call Musevenism. Because to him, he perceives that it is only Museveni who enables whatever he is doing. And he thinks that without Museveni, he cannot be a police officer. Even those cows, the chief accounting officers at district levels, the ones with the turning officers, they think that without Museveni, they cannot live. Survive. They are not serving the government of Uganda. They are instead serving the person of Museveni. So that's what I call the Trinity of Museveni. It is Museveni himself. He's a part of NRM, which is also embedded in himself. That's why I call it NRM Museveni, because without Museveni, you cannot have NRM. And then the other doctrine of Musevenism, which encompasses whoever is working for government. And he believes that without Museveni, he cannot live. He thinks that wherever he is, he's there because of Museveni. And when Museveni goes, he will not be there.
So someone who was in Chankwanzi to be doctrinated, to believe in patriotism, nationalism, Pan-Africanism, because these are the 3 key principles in most cases.
By then I learned a lot. By then I learned a lot of things. And then by the way, if you may consult the people who saw me before I went to Chankwanzi, the ones who saw me in 1990, and then the ones who saw me after 1991 or 92, they saw a totally different person. I had already changed, because by then when I went there, I was a porter in a stone quarry, and I was working in a stone quarry. But by the time I came out, that's when I started moving steps in politics. That's when I was elected a youth leader in Maganjubi, and I started from there.
Under the movement system?
Yes. I started as the LOC 1 Secretary for Youth. That was 1992.
Towards the CA.
And I moved all the ladders up to LOC 4. And it was in 2006, that is when I was elevated, when people elected me, and then I went to Wakiso District Council.
2006. Did you have any political party at the time?
No.
That you belonged to?
No, 2006 I was an independent, because we had just left NRM, and we had formed our own party, the People's Progressive Party. But it was still yet in...
it hasn't become stable.
Yeah.
No, we shall reach there. So you leave Chankwanzi, doctrinated by the same people, and then you come and hate them. Why?
No, I do not hate them.
What did you realize along the way that, oh, look, I think these guys, they have lost track?
No, I do not hate them, and I don't hate them. I very remember that in 2001, I was on the campaign team, the mobile task force of NRM.
Sure.
And I was campaigning for Museveni.
2001.
2001, in the 2001 elections. So it so happens that I was in Lukaya there. There is a place called Lusango. So at Lusango, I was on a podium, campaigning. In Uganda, we shout a lot. We don't move slowly. So somebody posed the question that Mr. Ssewandagi, we have seen Museveni since 1985. They were talking about 85. Because in 1985, Museveni did not publicly declare his ambitions to become president. For him, he was saying that I'm just there to topple the regime and then let people choose a leader. But after toppling the regime, Museveni swears in as president. So the person was saying, Museveni lied to us that he did not want to become president. For him, he was interested in the army. Then he was sworn in as president. Then after 4 years, the man turns around, and then he requests for 5 years to promulgate a constitution for this country. And then after the constitution, the man comes back again, and then he says that I want to leave the army and then test the constitutionality of this constitution you have made. So what if this man comes back again and requests for a second term?
That's now they were referring to 2006.
2006.
You are campaigning for him in 2001.
And now
they are cautioning
saying,
you that this gentleman you claim to support is likely to come. What if? Okay, they raised the what if question.
Yes.
What if he comes in 2026?
Then
much as for you, you thought.
I referred them to Article 102, which was then, which had the term limits of the president. And they said, no, we know Museveni has got capacity to amend this constitution. By the way, by then, nobody was
interesting.
Sure.
Such a voter in Lukaya as back in the day would sense that there was a danger. 5 years later, in 2006, and he was warning you
for me,
over the person you were campaigning
for. Me, I was 100% sure
that he would respect
Museveni would respect the constitution. Why was I 100% sure? Before the 2001 campaigns, I had accompanied Mzee Jaberi Bidandisali to Mweya, and we met the president. So when we met the president, Mzee Bidandisali had a concern. The concern was in the manifesto of the NRM, the manifesto which was to be used then, which had been enacted by Kanyogonya. It was still in a draft. The draft had been made by Kanyogonya. You remember that lady? And the draft had a clause in it which was saying that I'm contesting for the second and last term in office. So Mzee Bidandisali was contesting and was saying, no matter we know that we are contesting for the last term, we don't have to put it in writing. We don't have to make a commitment to the people of Uganda.
That's the 2001.
Yes, the manifesto was consolidating the achievements of the movement.
Of the achievements of between 86 and 2001.
Because 2001 was Museveni's second term in office.
Which literally was meant to be the last one.
The last one,
1996 as the first term, and then 2001.
So the commitment had been put in the 2001 manifesto.
So your mentor, Honorable Jabbe, says no, this shouldn't be put in commitment.
Should not be put into this manifesto.
On that very one, and you don't mind, because I know as a political animal, you would, okay, even in the law, you will assess and give the merits and demerits of any matter. Now, that alone, okay, maybe then, but now, as a senior, as a veteran politician, do you consider that advice by your mentor Jabbe being nationalistic, or it was pro Museveni now? Because why would you tell your senior remove this commitment?
No, by then we had put in place a new political party. Okay, we had finished with the 2000 referendum, and so now there were plans that after 2006 we will have another referendum in 2006, but the referendum was not to restrict political party activities. We are thinking ahead of opening up the political space, and so Jaberi Bidandisali was thinking aloud that we are going to form a political party.
Assuming that committing that this is your last term, in the event that the political parties are opened, you will have closed yourself there. So does that mean that your mentor Jabbe believed in Museveni?
For him, he was looking ahead, and he was thinking that Museveni was an asset to them
at a
time. And believe you me, by then Museveni was an asset. It was only Kizza Besigye who had seen that Museveni was a liability to this country, and Besigye was second to Omulongo was Waziri Twawula, who saw it earlier in the 1990s. But by then, all of us had been convinced, and we believed. And what we regret most about Museveni is believing in his falsehoods. I regret that one most. But I was back to the story. I made a commitment to the electorate in Lukaya that if Museveni amends the constitution and comes back again to seek for another term in office.
Now we are referring to 2006.
2006.
Should he come in 2006?
Yes. I would be the champion to campaign against Museveni. So I stayed.
Did you fulfill that in 2006?
I stayed within the NRM, and along the way, not even 2006, before 2006, the Sekabanjas.
The bus was smaller for you.
Yes,
so you were out already.
Sekabanja and the other people, Simanyi this Kakoza of Kabula. Then there was another one, Simeo Mwanga and Subuga, and the like. They came up with dry banana leaves. They drifted themselves.
The Chisanja, but that's when that name started. Yeah, yes, the Chisanja, that dry banana leaves. Yeah, those banana.
So when they started that trend,
and that's how always that talk has started. Someone just begins as if it's a joke.
So when they began that talk of Exanja, I joined the hands with Mwanga Kivumbi. And then we formed
Popular Resistance, something at
Popular Resistance
against life presidents.
And joining them was tactical, because by then they were traversing the country by themselves. They were only younger Democrat under UID. So the police was witch hunting them wherever they went. Yeah. The police was saying, please, you are not allowed to do this. For them, they were saying, no, we are Ugandans and we are united. And they would ask them, if you are Ugandans and you are united, why don't you have youths from the NRM? So that's when Mzee Jaberi Bidandisali ordered a number of us to join, to be part of Popular Resistance against life presidents. And when I joined them, by the way, they elevated me and I became their Secretary General. I was the Secretary General of the Popular Resistance against life presidency. So since then, I started the fight against Museveni. Not against Museveni as a person, but the fight against hypocrisy, not even the system. It was hypocrisy of the highest order. You cannot tell people that I'm contesting for this term in office. You have promulgated the constitution. And by the way, that constitution is 99% Museveni's constitution. You remember the caucuses? No, the caucuses used to meet Museveni at night.
Remove this, add this.
Yes, and whatever he did not accept was not entrenched into the constitution. Look at the entrenched articles. Yeah. For these articles to be entrenched into the constitution, it was a discussion between Museveni and the members of the Constituent Assembly.
But you see, Mr. Ssewandagi, gladly, I have been a friend to now the late Justice Kanyihamba. That one you know for a fact.
Yes.
And when I would ask him the very question, he would, in a bitter way, say, okay, we did what we could, but then citizens should appreciate us that we said in the consultation with Parliament, with approval with Parliament. Wouldn't you also be fair enough to say, also Parliament has let you down as citizens than putting everything onto Museveni? Because look at all these appointments, for instance. They will say, I hereby maybe, under article this, powers that I have sent Ssentamu Ssewandagi to Parliament, okay, appointed him so and so. Parliament will sit and approve with them. So don't you also think that he does his thing? What about your Parliament?
Before I could apportion blame on Parliament, I want to look at George Kanyihamba himself. People wanted a constitution which cannot be easily amended. Kanyihamba was one of the engineers in Parliament, and he was one of the masterminders in Parliament who drafted that constitution. And Kanyihamba knew very well that in that constitution, there is no article that was entrenched. Even the section that deals with the amendment of Parliament, by the way, it is the easiest section to amend. If you want to amend that's the constitution, the section or the chapter that concerns with the amendment of the constitution is the easiest.
Well, they believed in him the same way you did, and they were equally betrayed, because maybe do we say they also you can follow someone?
Majority of the people we sent in CA, though they were elite, but that was their first time to enact a constitution. And we were enacting a constitution against the history of this country. Provided we had a framework by Justice Odochi, but these people did not follow the framework. Because when Janet Balunzi Mukwaya came up with was it Balunzi Mukwaya? No, somebody came up with a white paper of that draft from Odoki's draft report, because the report was too big. It had thousands and thousands of pages, okay? But the draft that came out of the entire report almost reflected the 1962 Constitution. And in my own view, I think that most of these people were UPC supporters. Because what they did was just a copy and paste of the 1962 Constitution, save on a few things. And when they reached at that chapter of amendment of the Constitution, they made it easy for anyone in power
simply amend it.
To simply amend. And so when Museveni developed dictatorship tendencies,
it becomes very easy to come with a rubber.
You know, the problem with the power, when you are asking for 5 years from now, you look at it as a very long period. But as the period comes to an end, then you feel like you have not done anything and you are yearning for more. You see, Museveni has now ruled us for 35, 36 years, but he's still yearning for more.
As if he just came yesterday.
Even if you give him 20 years more, as long as he's still alive, he will again yearn for more. That's why the other democracies set up limits. You've set up a limit on each and everything. The law is basically there to tame the lust of man. Man is lust for everything. You are an old man now, you have grown up. But have you seen old men sucking the breasts of women?
People do.
They do. And then they call it part of romance. But they are mimicking the first breast they sucked when they were still young.
When they were kids.
And majority of us, we are forced to leave those breasts. But these people, so that's why we need safeguards and the controls over power.
Age limit, term limit.
Not because we hate Museveni, not because we hate the president, but we want to avoid that,
and have that
last for power.
Like Uganda say, like, okay.
Somebody you come in and then you see, I saw one of the notes of the Bank of America has got an unfinished structure at the back of it. They're saying that whoever comes as a leader of the United States of America will be adding a brick, and then he will stop where he has stopped, and then others will come. But for these people in Africa, they think that it is them. And if not them, they need to be succeeded by their siblings. That's why Museveni is preparing his son to come and lead. And then the son has already prepared us. Before he even elevates to the seat, has already prepared us that he has also another what? Another son. So he's saying that Ugandans, my dad is going. As he's going, I'm also coming. But as I come, I also have another person at the back warming up. So Ugandans be ready. Are you ready to be ready for another 50 years by this?
My dear, that's another long question to answer. Gentlemen and ladies watching us, we are with Mr. Ssentamu Ssewandagi. Hey, 2 double S's, yeah? Double S in the first name, double S in the second name. It's just quite interesting. Now, you don't hate.
I don't hate Museveni, no.
But you wanted some certain leadership. So
when you read the preamble of the Constitution.
Yeah, sure. Of course, given our history and our, it's a very, it's quite interesting and touching, but it touches those that are willing to understand, sadly.
Nobody is willing to understand. People must be forced to understand. If you think that people will be there and will to understand, then you are wrong.
Okay, we'll force them to understand.
Yes.
So you joined FDC.
Before joining FDC, I was in People's Progressive Party. I joined the Mwanga Chivumbis in popular resistance against life presidency. Then we fought a losing battle. We lost, and many of our comrades died. Others are still in prison, even up to date. Many are still there because we fought that thing. And then from there, Mzee Bidandisali was the minister in Museveni's government. And when he was just out of government, you know, for you, when you have a cow with the ticks, and when you remove it from the corral, it also goes with the ticks. So I was one of the ticks that went with Mzee Bidandisali. And when we went in Equatorial, we formed a new political party, People's Progressive Party. It was an alliance between, there was another party by Jean Barria, and one Nabukera, and another, they had a party, Uganda Progressive Movement. So it is the one we joined hands with, and then we came up with Popular Resistance, People's Progressive Party. And so we formed that one. And I'm one of the...
Ssentamu Gaida and
no, Ssentamu Gaida joined us at a later date. Yes, Ssentamu Gaida found us on the way. We had already moved, and the initial stages had already been finished, and we had a party, and so we were moving.
Why did you short live in PPP?
How? No, man. I was in People's Progressive Party from 2000, I think 5 up to 2021.
Just recently?
Yes.
But in between there, what about FDC? When did you join FDC?
I joined the FDC in 2021. That's when I joined the FDC.
Oh, so it is FDC that you should live with?
Yeah.
In fact, very.
By the way, I just lived in FDC for months. I did not even make a year in FDC.
Why? What happened?
I did not join FDC on conviction. I joined the FDC to win.
Out of anger or?
No, it was not out of anger. It was out of persuasion. I was contesting from Nansana municipality.
Yeah.
And I had been a councillor representing Nabweru in Wakiso District Council. So,
a second, Mr. Ssewandagi, when you were representing Nabweru at Wakiso District, were you under PPP or as an independent?
No. By then, in 2006, when I was elected to represent Nansana municipality, I was independent.
Even when you had joined the PPP, because PPP was founded in 2005. But immediately after that, but you weren't. Okay, structure-wise, I think you
no. We did not get PPP was later. PPP was after 2006. After the elections in 2006, I remember we might have registered the People's Progressive Party around 2007 or 2008. Yes, because it was around 2007 or 2008. Because when I went to contest in a by-election in Chadondo North, when the late Israeli Chiwigirige Sebunya had died, then we went to contest in that by-election. I contested on its ticket, so I was the solo candidate of People's Progressive Party. That means that we had formed the People's Progressive Party in 2007, around there, as we were entering 2008. That's when, because that's when I came to contest in 2008, I was already a full member of People's Progressive Party.
So, quickly, now you go to FDC thinking 2021 elections you would win.
No, we had an agreement in 2021 that I should not contest in Chadon, in Nansana municipality. I would give way to another candidate. I couldn't.
An agreement between you and who?
I will not mention.
No, sorry. Okay, with an individual, not a party.
Yes, we had an agreement with an individual that I let him contest. If he, no.
Like they say.
No. He did not give me any money. Okay. That I let him contest because we did not want to divide our votes.
When you say our, you mean opposition as a large or that party?
I always think of the opposition as a bulk.
Yeah, sure.
For me, I don't look at
as a block.
I don't look at the opposition as these individual parties. Those are selfish interests because our tormentor, the NRM, looks at as a bulk.
As a block.
Yeah, that's why even the Sechikubos who try to oppose him from within are treated harshly. So he gives a harsh treatment to whoever tries
at
to
his leadership.
At his leadership. So I used to think that we can cease all hostilities and work in unison, which I was wrong.
Yeah.
But I left the person in there in Nansana municipality, and then I came to contest in Rubaga here. So I had wanted to
the Rubaga North.
Rubaga North is 3. I had wanted to join the Kampala Capital City Authority Council as a road councillor.
That's now 2021.
2021. So when I came to Rubaga, and Madam Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao heard of that I had come to contest in Rubaga, he sent messengers to me. And the messengers approached me and they said, please, Ssewandagi, your party is not known here in Rubaga. We are more than ready to give you a card and you contest on our ticket because we think that you can be a better candidate for us than any of the candidates we have. I told them, I'm not sure that what you are saying is right. Because I'd already seen Museveni, the one I've told you, that in 2001, when we were at Mweya, he promised us that he will not tamper with the constitution. When he was preventing Mzee and Sali from deleting that
the other commitment.
The other commitment from the what, because for him he was sure that please don't worry, I will not come. And by the way, by then I will be too old and I will not be able to, I think it will be my time to go back to Akitula and look after my bazukuru and whatever. So when I came to FDC, I needed a commitment from them that I was not going to be subjected to their what? Primaries. Because I did not have any roots in FDC.
Yeah, sure.
Why would I accept myself to be subjected to primaries?
Of a structure that you were not even a part of in any way. Okay.
So Madam Joyce Nabosa Sebugwao assured me of the ticket. And by the way, I was the only one candidate who was given the FDC card without being subjected to primaries. And when they gave me a card, they gave me their ticket, and I contested and lost to the NUP candidate, James Mubiru, who was even in prison. It was a wave that swept all of us, and maybe it was a wave that was sweeping FDC out of Kampala.
Okay.
And so when FDC was swept out of Kampala,
you were part of the...
I was part of the filth that was swept out of Kampala.
Oh dear. Now...
And I lost miserably because I could not accept losing it to James Mbiru.
Yeah, sure. Okay, a quick one now as we really get towards the close of our discussion, Mr. Ssewandagi. People consider you as someone with... In fact, let me even change the sitting posture. Someone who
I will also change mine.
Yeah, sure. I hope... Don't threaten me.
I'm not changing the posture.
As someone who passionately had loved NUP with its leader, Honorable Kyagulanyi, and all of a sudden you brought that anger, unjustifiable anger. You highlight unjustifiable anger. In fact, I've seen some comments in some of your talk shows and interviews. People say, "Oh, you're Nambega. You have always been in ISO." They say, "Why do you hate Bobi Wine?"
You know, the first question I posed to those people, that if Katana can change,
you have started those things, okay,
and Rubongoya can change,
you also change it.
Why not me? Because I do not have any attachment to the NRM. Even after Chankwanzi, I was not employed in NRM. I was not employed. I remained in my quarry. For 12 years. For 12 years, I was in the Stony Quarry until Jabiri Bidandisari picked me up and then took me back to
Mr. Ssewandagi, spies can even be on the street. They can even drive taxis. They can drive buses.
But you cannot.
You could have been in the Stony Quarry when you were gathering your intelligence and sending it to...
No, man. You cannot avoid spies. Even in Rome has got spies everywhere. What you have to do, that the moment you understand that this is a spy, you know how to deal with him.
If I ask you, Mr. Ssewandagi, in a minute, to summarize why you...
I don't hate.
Why you love... Why at first you loved so much Honorable Bobi Wine and NUP, and then I will ask you after that answer, why all of a sudden...
I did not love Kyagulanyi and NUP. There you are wrong. For me, I'm for whoever is against the regime. And I would cling onto any tree that I deem can assist me in accomplishing my task of ousting this dictatorial regime of Museveni.
What happened along the way that you lost trust, that perhaps
no, I never lost trust in them, but the short period I have been with them, you know, when I go somewhere, I try to investigate and look into the nitty-gritties of the persons I'm moving with. And I see whether we are on the same track. But it so happens that along the way, I put them to a very small test. That if you are fighting to oust Museveni, Museveni's strength has been mostly in parliament. There is no way we can unseat Museveni without reducing his mightiness in parliament. So, the best option to oust Museveni from power, or to oust the Trinity of Museveni from office, is to reduce his powers in parliament. And if we are reducing powers in parliament, Nakawa constituency is one of the liberated constituencies. And Balimwezo could win that constituency no matter what. There was no reason as to why NUP could bring Waisomufumbiro all the way from Busoga, which is not yet liberated, and then filled him in Inakawa. And then they filled the Barimwezo to displace Elias Lukwago from the road mayorship. There I see no work done. So for us to have work done, we would be contesting against only and only NRM candidates. So when I voiced out that concern to them, they looked at me and then labeled me all sorts of names. You are a tribalist.
Given your seniority, because with due respect, you are far ahead. That's being honest. You see, if we are here to discuss honesty, you are far ahead of so many people in regards to politics.
In your understanding.
Okay. What is factual is that Mr. Ssentamu Ssewandagi is far ahead of so many people in opposition in terms of the struggle.
Yes, I think so.
With that seniority, did you ever gather the audience to mention what you are mentioning here, one-on-one with them, and say, look, guys, this is wrong? Or you simply came before cameras and said, no, they are doing something wrong?
The problem with the entrenched dictatorship is that goons, I'm sorry to use that word, goons surround the leader. And they have sponsors.
Do you want to communicate that Honorable Bobi Wine Kyagulanyi is surrounded?
You know, a word is mine before I've uttered it out. But the moment I utter it out, the onus is upon you to get an interpretation out of it. So if that is how you have interpreted my word, it's
did you
upon
look
you.
for him as his senior, his elder, to say, look, I think this is something supposed to be done?
You are joking with the Genesis. The Generation Z people are people who know it all. They are people who do not seek advice. They are the ones to advise. For us, the Gen X, we would seek advice from the elders. At 50, I would be seeking advice from those ones above me, 51, 52, 53, up to 60 and 70s. And those at 40 would be seeking advice from me and mentorship.
So
but the Gen Z at the age of 30 does not seek any mentorship from you. He wants to advise you instead, and he knows how to do with the dictatorship. Yet for us, we have lived with Museveni for so long. We have been with him. And we know his capacity. We know when Museveni gets annoyed. And we know what annoys Museveni and what does not annoy him. Museveni does not get annoyed as long as you don't point to his chair. But only gets annoyed when you point to his chair.
Mr. Ssewandagi.
And when you show interest in his chair, that's when he comes out with all of his mightiness and he proves it to you that this chair is mine, and after myself it will be my son, and after my son it will be my grand what? My grandson.
Mr. Ssewandagi, you are a scholar, and I want to put it on to you that I am sure, as day follows night, that you have read and or followed some sequence of events.
Yes, please.
About what people talk about you people as Baganda. And you know, I'm not here to promote any tribe or to demean any tribe, but I also read like you do. And people say, Abaganda bankwe mwirwana. You fought each other. And some people have referred to you, of course, as a collective, or that you, very Baganda, fought Honorable Ben Kiwanuka back in the day. And you sided with Obote. Yeah? The same Baganda, you were here, you had the Kaira, you had the Nkwanga, you had as many. You went and ran, supported Museveni. The same Baganda, you are now here, apparently, you are fighting yourselves. That's what, of course, I'm giving you a general picture. Fighting Bobi Wine. But when you also look at Bobi Wine, to some people say, he also fought Honorable Mpuga. So what is the problem with our tribe? Because I am in Uganda, Gere. Yes. I'm born in Masaka here. Yes. So I'm in Uganda, Gere. What is the problem with our tribe?
Our biggest problem is us being the majority. The moment you are in the majority, you believe that everything is okay, yet it is not okay. And at times we think that we can lead by examples. For example, in Mbarara, You don't have to tell Munyankole that Ssentamu cannot stand here and you vote him into office.
I remember
Ngoma
you remember
Ngoma Njime.
I was slightly
young. Yes,
young,
it was Museveni who went with Ngoma Njime.
To impose him there.
To impose him there, and the Banyankole said, Ngaha, Twayang.
Back to Busoga.
And they chased Ngoma Njime back to Busoga.
I don't even know where he is in Njime because I'm sure he's alive.
And by the way, do not, apart from Museveni, there were few Banyankole who are campaigning for Ngoma Njime.
Yeah,
and those who are campaigning for Ngoma Njime, they would tell you in broad daylight that please, we are campaigning for Ngoma Njime because we want to protect our what? Jobs. But they would come back in the night and they tell you, please, Mwamanya, Owitu Niyogu, Byanyima. But here in Uganda,
aren't you playing the tribal card then? Because
the tribal card, no, you are saying that you are playing the tribal card, but Muganda plays a tribal card against his fellow Muganda. I'm talking about the Waiso Mufumbiros, he is from Busoga. I'm talking about Rubongoya, who is from Ankole, but it is the Baganda who are they are busy campaigning for him against their fellow Baganda. And when you come to Beni Chiwanuka had a challenge. One, Beni Chiwanuka was a year older than the Kabaka, Sir Edward. And despite, not only that, Beni Chiwanuka was a land friend. And the Kabaka was not a lawyer. So, by virtue of being an age older than, a year older than the Kabaka, and being a land friend, Beni Chiwanuka saw himself as...
an equivalent, eh?
Not an equivalent, he even saw himself above the Kabaka. Despite the fact that the Kabaka was a Kabaka by virtue of his birth. So for him, he looked at the Kabaka as being privileged to be what he was. And for him, he had merit over the Kabaka. That's why we do not mind. And by the way, when Uganda sent delegates to the London conference, they were not for Uganda's independence. Uganda was against Uganda's independence. Buganda wanted an independence of her own. And so Beni Chiwanuka, having seen that he had lost the battle within Buganda, he chose to look for allies. And in looking for allies, he abandoned the Buganda ideas and then went for the ideas of those of the Republic. And then so he turned himself into a Republican. And many Baganda here are Republicans. So when you say Muganda, who is a Ugandan, is totally against monarchism. Republicans hate monarchism.
Yeah.
They even formed a movement, the Pan-Africanist movement. And the majority of the members of the Pan-Africanist movement are Baganda. So it is Baganda against Baganda. And I'm telling you that the biggest challenge, the biggest problem we have, we are at our place, okay? We think this place is ours. It is God-given. And you have to live in it. Unlike you, for you came from where you came from, you are here.
I'm born in Uganda. I'm one of
yes, yes.
We are one.
Yes.
Maybe those people, those others, but for me,
yes, but you are here, but you know what brought you here.
Yeah, sure.
And when you meet a fellow Munyankole, you would ally with him for your own good. Yeah. But when you see two Bagandas allying, they might be sharing a habit. They might either be drunkards, druggists, or they might be conspiring against
their fellow Muganda.
That is the challenge.
In just a few minutes that we have, I have two also questions for you, Mr. Ssewandagi. One, primaries are done. You have seen them, both NRM, NUP.
But what do you call primaries?
No. That's what they call them. Because you see, as a
land these are concocted terms.
That's what we read, my dear. They say people have gone through primaries, then others have gone through a vetting. If you could summarize...
But what would be primary?
What would be ideal is a process that is done duly, democratically, free and fair.
And when you are doing a process democratically, it means that you must have...
There should be some bit of
guidelines. And then these guidelines might be envisaged or must be entrenched into a constitution or a document, in a document, codified in a document. Call it a constitution. The constitution of the party, say for example, the constitution of National Unity Platform, National Resistance Movement, might have laid down clear procedures on how a person qualifies to or comes to be a candidate in any election. But now we were looking at two scenarios. There were those ones who are subjected to vetting. The question that comes into our mind, was that vetting constitutional? Somebody will tell you that no, NUP does not have a constitution because currently they are having two constitutions. They amended the original constitution and then they came up with a new version of the constitution, which was caveated by the other side. And the other side still maintain that they have a constitution which is still in what?
In the process, easy.
And for them, these ones are saying that that constitution is not for NUP. That one is for NUR,
the other old party.
The other old party. And then they are saying, for us, we have come up with a new constitution. And these ones are saying no. So there is no way you can say that these were primaries.
What do you term it, in conclusion, to you? Whatever happened to, within NUP and or NRM?
It was just a mere selection of friends.
Okay. Now, I have your last question. What is your plan? Nominations are
currently I'm not contesting in any elective post. I'm concentrating on my studies in Makerere University. So this is my 4th year at campus, and very soon I would have completed the course. Thank God I don't have any retake. I will finish the course on time, and thereafter I will join LDC, and then
you're deserting the struggle, because with now already what you are
to be sincere,
like you're deserting a struggle, going into private practice and
to be sincere,
leave it to the Gen Zs.
To be sincere to you, I'm resigning from the struggle. I don't see any future in the struggle. This one isn't a struggle.
What is it?
They named it, for them they called it that theirs is not a struggle, it is a revolution.
When you say they,
and when I look, the NUPs, and when I look at the revolution where everybody is grabbing an elective seat, so it means that it is a revolution to liberate themselves. So people who are fighting to liberate themselves, in my own understanding, I cannot move with such people. We are parallel to each other. Though we seem to be moving in the same direction, but we are parallel and we cannot meet. Okay. That means that I don't see anything useful I can add onto the revolution. For me, I'm for the struggle to remove dictatorship, the struggle to oust Museveni, the struggle to oust the trinity of Museveni, which is Museveni himself, NRM Museveni, and Museveni himself. That is what I've been for all these years. Unfortunately,
you have thrown in the towel.
When I look at the back, I'm seeing only myself, I and myself only. So on the line, which means I'll have to abandon the struggle. If I don't abandon the struggle and retire, then I will perish along the way.
Viewers, I can't add a word, but to say it is sad news from Mr. Ssentamu Ssewandagi that has thrown in a towel.
I'm thinking of throwing in.
Mr. Ssentamu Ssewandagi thinks of throwing in a towel.
I'm thinking of throwing in a towel. So it is upon them to persuade me whether they still need my services. But for me, I think that what I've done is enough, and it is time for me to quit politics and then join services and work for my family and friends and what have you.
In Uganda, would you say struggle? The
Genesis bajintamiza.
You have had struggle bantu mwe ba Genesis mujitamiza mukuru Ssentamu Ssewandagi.
Now you look at them after the primaries. Everybody is quarreling, but somebody went with his papers to the headquarters of the National Unity Platform, well aware that he's not the only person contesting, and he did not request for the guidelines or something, because the other part on the other side was the one who was selecting, and he knew his criteria, and he knew the people he wanted. So if you never looked into
so you abide by any results, what comes out?
Yes, because we did not know the criteria you were to use. to choose a candidate. You just put there your papers, not knowing. But for him, he has his criteria.
Okay.
And it is basing on that criteria that he has chosen, what the people he has chosen to represent who and where. You know, you cannot take now for us in Wakiso, there was Sajari Abene, a person who is with vast experience in local government. But he was denied a ticket. Okay. And it was given to Nasif Naja, who is just 4 years in service. So you look for the criteria and you fail to understand the criteria the person was using. So if you fail to understand the criteria the person was using, you just let it go.
Okay, viewers, see you next Friday. But of course, I want to pray that we ask Mr. Ssewandagi some other time to give us more time, because he's full of history that may not fit in our Face the Nation show, to be honest with you. The means we have for this show are so
and the
minimal.
Questions you are asking are many.
Yeah, the questions are very many. So I pray that we shall invite him in our studios and he elaborates on some other issues.
But I don't think it very soon.
Yeah, we shall pray and see what happens.
Currently, I'm so busy with my studies.
Okay, then. So see you on Digitalk TV. Be blessed.